Keep in mind, during this installation, that this is how we installed this kit on our 1990 LX Fox body. Depending on your vehicle, the wiring may differ, but this works as a reference point to see how we did the job. With that being said, here are the tools you'll need, so let's get started. Under the steering column, there are 2 screws that hold the shroud in place. Pull down on the lower portion and you can see where those screws were. The upper portion can now be pulled off to remove. Down below, there are 3 8mm bolts that hold this kick panel in place. Behind that is a metal panel with 2 more 8mm bolts up top. They're on either side of the steering column. Use a small flathead to release the clips on the outside of the switches. The harness needs to be disconnected on both sides. Up top, 2 more bolts hold the dash surround in place. Lastly, 1 long 7mm bolt underneath can be removed. Carefully pull the dash surround away and up to remove it. 2 7mm bolts secure the instrument cluster on either side. Remove all 4 and the panel can come out. There are 2 wire harness connectors and a speedometer plug that need to be removed. The wire harness has tabs that you can squeeze to disconnect. The speedometer cable can be stubborn, but a small flathead can be used to push the plastic that you see here off center to remove it. Now for the wiring. At this point, a test light and a wiring diagram will be very helpful to verify each connection. We'll have a basic diagram of what we connected everything to in the description, but your vehicle might be slightly different. Our Fox body only had a few connections that were different from the AutoMeter instructions. For each wire, we cut and labeled it with a piece of tape. Next is key on power, which we have had 2 versions of the same wire on this plug. High beam indicator lights up when you flash the high beams. The turn signals are pretty simple as well. However, you may need to add the included bulb for the proper resistance. We'll eventually use both of these red wires with a yellow trace, so keep them together. The fuel sender is typically a yellow wire with a white trace. AutoMeter suggests running an oil pressure line to the engine bay, but we were able to tap into the factory wire, which is white with a red trace. The same goes for the engine coolant temperature sensor. The tachometer wire will depend on your ignition system. With a distributor, but no ignition box, you can connect to the negative side of the negative ignition coil. In our case, we were able to tap into this tan wire on the dash. There is a pink wire that needs to be connected to constant power, which in this case, we use this yellow wire for the ignition switch. We also have the speed sensor wire in purple. That will set to the side for now. Now we can start stripping each of these wires. The AutoMeter harness can be disconnected from the back, so it's easier to work with the wiring. Make sure to unscrew the 2 Phillips heads holding the selector knob in place. Now we can begin loosely connecting all the appropriate wires to test the unit using a bit of electrical tape. Not everything is connected, but we want to test power, oil, temp, and the dash indicators. As you can see, we're getting a reading, but it's not correct, so we're going to need to fix that. In the engine bay, we need to install the included AutoMeter temperature sensor. Use an extension and an 18mm socket to remove it. Get some Teflon tape on the new sending unit and 3/8 NPT adapter. You can use a 19mm to reinstall it. AutoMeter recommends running a wire from their harness, but we'll just reconnect the factory wire and wire it at the dash. Near the oil filter, we can replace the factory oil pressure sender with the included AutoMeter unit. First, we have to remove this ground and move the metal bracket out of the way. Go ahead and pull the connector off. Use a 1 1/16 socket to remove the factory unit. Ours actually broke, but we're still able to get it out. Because the AutoMeter unit is larger, we'll need an oil pressure extension. This can be bought online from companies like Scott Drake or LMR. Then the 1/4" NPT adapter can go on. Use a 9/16 socket to tighten it down. Then the AutoMeter unit can be installed. Use a 14mm wrench to tighten down the sending unit. Then the plug can be reconnected. We'll have to relocate the bracket, but make sure the ground gets reconnected. Back on the dash, we can see that both oil pressure and temp are good to go now. We did warm up the car to check the temperature sensor. For the charging system and the airbag, we need to wire the 2 lights that will be installed in the dash and their included resistor in line. The black and yellow wire on the left is for the airbag. That we will wire into one end of the bulb. The other end will share the same wire as the charging system. The 2 white wires and 1 black one from the other bulb will have the resistor wired in line. The green wire is an extension of the 2 white wires, and the black wire is an extension for the black. The 2 white bulb wires will connect to the red wire with a light green trace, which is pin number 2. The black wire will go to the light green wire with a red trace, which is pin number 14. With the car running, we can verify the charging system is working, but the turn signals are not, so we'll have to add 2 more bulbs. Place the white wire from the bulb in line with the respective turn signal wire from the AutoMeter harness. The black wire will be grounded. Because the dash uses LEDs, the factory circuit does not have enough resistance. The factory wiring has 2 wires for the turn signal. We twisted those together and connected them. If they aren't working after that, make sure your hazard switch is plugged in so the circuit is complete. Now we know everything is working. We can make our connections more permanent, and we'll be using these butt connectors with solder in them, so all we need is a heat gun. Then the heat gun with a hook nozzle attachment can heat up the solder while it melts the connector. Make sure the connection is strong, and then we'll continue along with the rest of the wiring. The harness can be plugged into the dash and brought up into place. Get the airbag light secured in the lower position on the back of the dash. The charge system light will go into the upper position. Then make sure all the excess wiring is out of the way. We also secured the AutoMeter harness with a few zip ties. Go ahead and get the wiring for the switches out of the way, and you can get the factory bolts back in to secure the new dash. Now you can reconnect the factory switches on both sides. Before the final reassembly, go ahead and test all the functions one last time. Now all the bezels can be reinstalled, starting with the dashboard surround. Then, the lower metal panel can be secured with the 2 bolts above, and the plastic kick panel is held on with the 3 bolts below. The speedometer wire will be wired to a green wire with a white stripe in the left side kick panel. As far as the configuration of the dash, there's a selector knob on the side. We'll start by picking the display we want. Here you can see the 4 other options. We're going to choose display number 4. You have the option of choosing your units of measurement, but we're going to stick with imperial. The next item is a speedometer, where you can reset your trip, but also set the odometer. You can only set this one time, and within the first 500 miles. After being set, or after 500 miles, this option will disappear forever. All you need to do is select each number and set it to match your mileage. It will give you 3 chances to go back, so make sure it's correct. In the tachometer, you can set the RPM gauge to either 8,000 or 10,000 RPMs. You can see what it looks like, but we're going to go ahead and keep it at 8,000 RPMs. The pulse calibration will depend on your engine. A V8 with a distributor ignition system will be 4 pulses per rev. As you can see, there are a lot of other options for different setups. If you want to disable the low fuel warning, you can also do that now. For the fuel level, it's depending on the sensor, but a factory 87 and 93 Fox will be the 16 to 158 ohm option. You'll get the option of choosing when your low oil pressure warning will alert you. We decided to go with 8 psi. And you can also set where you want your water temperature warning to be. The voltmeter warning function can be changed as well. If you're running underdrive pulleys, you may want to disable this. The time can be set as well, either 24 hours or 12 hours. The factory dimming switch is no longer used, so you can set the 2 brightness modes based on day or night. The system option displays the firmware and allows you to disable the startup screen and audible warnings. To calibrate the speedometer, you need to find a 2-mile stretch of road. You will start and stop the calibration at these points. You can find the speed calibration in the speedometer menu. Start the calibration at the beginning of the 2-mile stretch. Then when you hit the end, press End Calibration and you'll be able to see the speedometer jump to the correct speed. And using GPS, we can compare the speed and see that it is accurate. After that, your installation is complete.